Welcome to I Drink Your Podcast.
Oh gosh, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You leave me no choice. Here comes the smolder.
Wait, you like that?
No,
you don't like that?
No, I don't like that.
No, how about that? You like that?
A little better.
Bread makes you fat?
Does this count as annoying?
Just tell me what you want me to fuck!
Not you, and not you.
Okay, I think it's time to take off your clothes and jump me.
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool?
I drink your podcast! I drink it up!
Welcome to I Drink Your Podcast, the podcast that is focusing on movies from 2010 and only the best and only the non-sequels, reboots, and prequels. We have a special one here for you today, and with me today is Emily.
Hello, everyone.
And we also have Wesley with us.
Why is it special?
It's special because you're here.
Because I'm here?
Yeah.
Yay!
Obviously.
And I'm Ben, and we are talking The Kids Are All Right today. And before we get started, please take the time to rate, subscribe, share us with a friend or two. We appreciate all of the support that we've been given, and we hope to continue to expand.
Whoa!
Whoa.
It's so big now.
But before we get started, what is in your glass today, Emily?
I'm drinking Emily's All Right. A giant wine glass filled with juice, because who the fuck wants to actually drink wine? You just gotta have some juice in there.
Okay.
Sorry, Ben.
You kind of just shit on what I'm doing, but go, Wesley, what do you got?
Well, if I were a drinking man,
Mm-hmm.
I obviously would have been drinking Mark Buffalo Trace.
Oh, yeah.
But since I'm not, I'm drinking an RC Cola, which I feel is the exact appropriate amount of unique cola for this Modern Family with a Twist movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would definitely drink RC.
Oh, yeah.
I've never even heard of it before. It's some LA shit.
RC Cola?
You've never heard of RC Cola?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a cola.
Yeah, it's like the 7th most popular cola.
Did you just look that up?
No, that's just guessing.
All right, well, I'm going to look it up.
Ben, what about you?
I went with the wines are all white. And I'm going to try to drink a whole bottle during the episode, just like Annette Bening would.
Okay, weirdo. Have fun. As Ben said, we watched The Kids Are All Right, which is available on Peacock if you want to watch it. And we're really excited to have Wesley with us. We all got to watch this together. But before we talk about this movie, Wesley, why don't you tell us about something that you've watched recently, since I know that's all you've been doing lately. So what's something that's just mwah?
Yeah, this question's really hard right now. It's all kind of been mediocre, to be honest.
Oh, bummer.
I don't know if it's a problem of volume these days and just watching too much. Most of what I've been watching is new seasons of stuff that's come out. It seemed like there's been quite a few very recently, and they're all good, but nothing we haven't talked about or you guys don't already watch. But I don't know if I'm going to sell anybody on it, but I have been addicted recently since recovering from my kidney.
Woo.
That I've been watching a lot of Naked and Afraid.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
It is a survival show on Discovery Channel, and it's, I mean, the title says a lot of it, but basically two people go out into some jungle or desert or someplace dangerous and have to survive 21 days, literally getting dropped off with nothing but like a little satchel and one tool.
Well, 2 if it's a male, right? They bring their own tool.
Fuck off.
I'm not going to respond to that. I respect the show enough.
Anything else that I might be interested in watching? Because I'm not going to watch that shit.
Yeah, do what I did. So when my mom was here, I made a conscious choice to go back through some of my favorite movies of all time and force her to watch them because she's never seen like any movies. So basically, Emily, my pitch to you is do what we've been telling you and watch the movies on that list.
line, fucker.
Yeah, do more.
I'm a little upset that Wesley didn't say his drink was the kidney's all right. Missed opportunity. But
Yep, real missed opportunity there. I'll try to work in a kitty joke later.
perfect. We did watch The Kids Are All Right, which is currently at 92% on Rotten Tomatoes and was nominated for 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actress for Annette Bening, Best Supporting Actor for Mark Ruffalo, and Best Original Screenplay.
Hey, Bug.
Don't be back late.
I know.
Come give us a hug before you go. Hugs.
Hug her. That's what she's there for.
Have you thought any more about making that call?
That could really hurt Mom's feelings.
How can you not even be curious about it?
Each of my moms had a kid with your sperm.
Like in both of them.
Uh-huh, like in gay.
Right on. Cool. I love lesbians.
Great.
The movie's directed and written by Lisa Cholodenko, who directed episodes of 6 Feet Under and The L Word, and feature films High Art, Laurel Canyon, and Cave Dweller. I haven't heard of any of those movies.
I don't think I have either.
Well, you watched 6 Feet Under, though, Wesley, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I thought you were just talking about the films. Yeah, 6 Feet Under. I almost just brought that up in the pre-conversation, but doesn't matter. That's just kind of ironic. But yeah, 6 Feet Under, I would honestly put in my top 5 TV shows of all time.
Nice. Starring in this movie is Annette Bening, who was nominated for 3 acting Oscars before receiving her 4th for this movie, in the movies The Grifters, American Beauty, and Being Julia. We also have someone who actually is Julia, Julianne Moore, who was nominated for 4 acting Oscars prior to this for Boogie Nights, The End of the Affair, and 2 nominations in 2002 for Far From Heaven and The Hours.
So is Mark Ruffalo going to have 5 Oscar nominations at this point?
Mark Ruffalo received his first one for this movie, despite starring in such Oscar-worthy movies as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Zodiac, and 13 Going on 30.
Stop. I forgot he's in 13 Going on 30. Oh, that's a movie that I watched on repeat.
That's like his movie before this one. Like, that's the one that he was like known for.
Yeah? Really?
Yeah, like that movie's famous. Like, I know Wesley loves Eternal Sunshine, and we all love Zodiac. I mean, we all love Eternal Sunshine, but he wasn't like the star of that. But he was big time in 13 Going on 30.
Yeah, I've been debating on how to argue that his role in Eternal Sunshine is not Oscar worthy. All he does is sit there while Jim Carrey sleeps.
This movie also does star a couple young actors that we'll call out, Maya Wasikowska and Josh Hutcherson. Both very talented actors who round out this ensemble.
Ben, none of us had seen this before, but I know that you especially really wanted to write a synopsis this week. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you thought this movie was going to be?
I mean, it's so rare when I haven't seen a movie that we do. So I feel like I would need to take that opportunity. And this movie is going to be about conjoined twins. But they're conjoined facing in opposite directions. They each have a right arm and a right leg. The kids are all right.
I can't
So
picture
is there
this.
no left then?
No, they have right arms and right legs, no left.
So they literally have 2 right feet and that's it.
Yeah, because they're facing opposite directions.
Well, so they have just 2 heads then? You're thinking the singular body?
They have, well, no, their torso, each side has 1 nipple.
So where's the branch? Where's
The branch is right down the middle.
So they have 2 torsos, but share a nipple?
No, they share a torso. 1 nipple on each side.
Okay, so then there's 2 heads on a body that's 2 halves but reversed.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So it just, if you saw silhouette, it would look like just a person with 2 heads.
One with the head forward and one with head backwards. Yes.
Do you know how silhouettes work?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell whether someone's facing forward or backward in a silhouette.
Not always.
No, you can't. Not if they're looking right at you.
You should be able to based on the ears.
A shadow? Right. I could tell immediately you were bullshitting on just the look on your stupid face.
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
what's your synopsis?
That was it, wasn't it?
That was my synopsis.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Fuck off. All right, Ben, you really came through for us, but Wesley's going to read what this movie's actually about.
according to the DVD cover,
Obviously.
which is not always.
Wait, my movie wasn't right?
It was all left.
I wasn't paying very close attention to this movie. I know. It was all left? Well, that's a bad title then.
If you honestly had like daydreamed through this and thought that that was the movie that you just saw, oh, what a treat it must be to be you. According to the DVD cover, Nick and Jules are your average suburban couple raising their 2 teens, Joni and Laser. Terrible name. But when the kids secretly track down their donor dad, Paul, an unexpected new chapter begins for everyone as family ties are defined and, guess what? Redefined.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
I added a little spice in there at the end. My own little ad lib.
So this was first watch for all of us.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys know that this was nominated for Best Picture before watching it?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I knew it had won a lot of things.
Okay. Wesley, knowing that going in, do you feel like it deserved to be nominated for Best Picture?
No, not now. I have a lot of feelings about how this movie was probably a lot better in its era.
I feel similarly.
The rate at which everything in the world has evolved over the past decade, like this movie is one thing that is already like past, and it feels outdated already, even though it's really not that old.
Emily, without giving away fully your thoughts on this movie, now that you know that it's a Best Picture, does that change the way you view this movie?
Not really. I think that Wesley's spot on with the idea that back in 2010, this was fundamentally a huge moment for a lot of LGBTQ plus people in the world.
Mhm.
Having a normal family depicted with this lesbian couple and their children in kind of suburban LA, I guess. I don't know. And I could immediately tell why critics loved this and ate it up. I could immediately tell why it would be nominated for Oscars. I definitely have some problems with it, but generally, yeah, 2010, I can see this being a standout.
Yeah, the word thrown around in a lot of reviews that I read is the word progressive. That this is a very progressive movie.
Are you sure they just weren't talking about the soup that was catered?
No, it's progresso.
Yeah, but back then it was still progressive.
Oh, with Flo?
They progressed into Progresso.
Yeah, they've evolved as a company.
As we all do over time.
Especially since 2010. Yikes.
Okay, well, let's not bury any further. Wesley, did you like this movie? Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's Emily, did you like this movie?
Not really. I thought it was fine. Ben?
I think I liked it more than you guys did.
Oh, really?
After hearing your tepid responses. I appreciate movies like this that try to depict a lot more reality than what normal movies do. I mean, I still had problems with it because when you go into a movie, you expect a little bit of storytelling aspect, and this was mostly just like
feelings,
just kind of a straightforward story without a lot of twists. I mean, we watched it together, and I think it was 10 minutes in when I'm like, oh, which one of them is going to have sex with Mark Ruffalo?
Yes.
Because if it's not those two, it's going to be me.
And then by the next scene, it was like telegraphed.
So this movie isn't innovating anything. It's not cutting edge cinema, but it's telling a story that, you know, at this time we hadn't seen before. Where, like you said, Wesley and Emily, like in 2010, these types of depictions of same-sex couples was not happening on screen in a way that normalized it.
And I think also thinking about just cinema in general, there was a little bit more of an accepting understanding of gay men rather than a lesbian woman, usually in contexts of jokes or in cinema, whether it's porn or actual references to lesbians in media. Most characters would make some sort of really awful joke about a woman being really butch or fitting a certain stereotype. And obviously they would do that for men that are gay too, but it definitely seemed a little bit more sexist, really. You know, people in a lot of cinema and a lot of media, I remember just seeing like stupid comedies of these boys freaking out about girls making out, right? There was never any sense of reality with that. It was all just jokes. And I think that you're absolutely right. We didn't really see a loving relationship between two women so normalized like this until this movie.
Yeah, I think even if this movie came out 5 years earlier, the best friend of Laser probably would have made a joke about your moms are lesbians. That's hot. But this movie didn't do that. It very much more focused on the relationships that existed between all the characters.
Right. I can't help but think about The Birdcage. You know, I know that it's a comedy and everything, and I know that it definitely has some problems in it now. Not like a ton of them. I love that fucking movie. But the relationship between the fathers, it's so loving and sweet, and they really took care of their son and everything. And so we had that. And that's what I kept kind of thinking back to as I was reflecting on this movie. And obviously that movie was not very normal, but it was very submersed in gay culture. So this movie kind of surprised me that it was kind of taking place in a almost heteronormative world.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really a lot going on around them other than the two characters being lesbian and not having any sort of interactions with anyone besides Paul and their kids.
Were there other people in this movie? As we were getting ready for this, like I started to try and think of like background people. Oh, I just thought of one I didn't think of before.
I mean, you've got the three friends of the kids.
Right.
You have the love interest.
Tanya.
Yep, of Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
And some of his workers. And then again, there's just really aren't a lot of people in this movie besides the main characters that matter. You know, you could cut them out and really nothing changes.
Yeah, except Ruffalo would have been pumping nothing there.
As he should be.
I would like to see that.
Do you feel like the storyline being an affair between a male and a lesbian is Hollywood's trying to get us to like bridge a way to more inclusive LGBTQ plus stories? Because this still has a very hetero storyline. Like obviously Julianne Moore is not heterosexual in this, but clearly she's rebelling against something.
I'm gay.
And it's making it more palatable for mainstream America.
Because watching Mark Ruffalo bang Julianne Moore was totally palatable. I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there.
Absolutely.
But reading a little bit about how people have reacted in the last few years, actually, you know, they just had their 10-year anniversary. It's 2022 now. There are a lot of different articles that talk about different writers and artists revisiting this story. And even the director, she was kind of like, I think at that point, I was trying to show a little bit of the fluidity of sexuality with just Julianne Moore's character just being fluid in her career and just in her personality, but didn't quite understand it herself. And so, like, reflecting back on it, she kind of addresses the fact that she would have probably done a lot of things differently with it. But at that point, she didn't really know a ton. You know, it was still kind of an exploration of understanding sexuality beyond, like, her own understanding.
I'm going to drop a bomb on you guys, and I don't know if you're ready for this.
Okay.
We made a lot of jokes about this, you know, are the kids all right? While we were watching it. This movie is not called The Kids Are All Right. It's The Kids Are All Right.
Yeah.
How does that change your viewing of the movie?
It doesn't, because that's how I read it when we watched it last night.
Okay, because it's not the kids are doing okay. It's the kids are right, correct. What does that mean when thinking about this movie?
I'm sorry. What?
It is the kids are all like all of them, right.
Oh my God. I actually did not know that that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still think it was about being Republican, but
you blew my mind.
Like, what do the
but
kids write about? I guess, if that's the title of this movie.
Nothing. They're fucking right about nothing.
they're on the right side of history.
In what way?
I don't know. That was just a phrase I'd heard.
It's just something I've heard someone say before.
It had the word right in it.
Yeah.
Ben, I legit don't know what this title is about. Like, I legit don't know, because even when it was The Kids Are All Right, I was reflecting back going, okay, this movie, I don't think the kids are okay. I really don't think they are after watching kind of their parents fight and, you know, meeting their sperm donor dad, and just there's just a lot. I don't think they're okay, because they just kind of moved on. They didn't really have any sort of resolution whatsoever. But now that the kids are all right, I just don't see how that even correlates to the story at all.
I've got one, and it makes this movie even better.
Oh,
Okay.
It's something that most movies don't do, but it cements the ending. Because as they're driving away from college, Josh Hutcherson says, "You guys should get back together, or shouldn't stay apart," or something like that. To which they look at each other and then hold hands. So he is right. They belong together. You get no decision in whether they break up because she cheated on him or not.
yeah. I hated that part of the movie.
we
Yes,
all did.
we all did.
Okay.
It was after we had watched the rest of the movie.
What do you think the title means?
I have no idea. Like, I was trying to think of, like, is there some sort of saying or typical kid stance that is like a colloquialism that where it's like, oh yeah, the kids are right about blank. The kids are right about love. Like something like that, where it's not even talking about the specific kids in this movie, but just kids in general. Like, children know something to be true. But I couldn't think of anything.
I've got one. It's kind of the opposite, though, so maybe it's a play on words. But it's That Boy Ain't Right.
Okay.
It's a pretty popular one.
Yeah, King of the Hill. I gotta be honest, I took only one note for this movie, and it was simply, she likes it Ruffalo. Which my weed riddled brain must have thought was just super funny, because it's the only thing I wrote down. What did you guys think about the sex scenes in this movie?
Better than The Room.
Well, that's cool.
Absolutely. But I think they were just kind of sidelined to the rest of what was going on, in my opinion. Like, I distinctly remember the sex scenes and seeing them very graphic, but I didn't think they were very rememberable because there were so many other things happening in the movie. Do you remember that Clay was in the movie and there was a whole thing about Josh Hutcherson possibly being gay and the mom's trying to figure that out? Do you know that, like, Joni, the daughter, she was like super into this guy and she went to a party, she got drunk, also played Scrabble a lot.
She kissed that guy and then that was it.
Yeah, I know, right?
She didn't just kiss him, like, she was like kissing his face. Like, that makeout scene was very awkward. Like, she just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, she's next level inexperienced. It's not like she's just never done it or done it that much. It was like, I've never opened a book. Like, I'm probably not allowed to watch movies that are over a PG, like PG-13. No.
Well, have you met her moms?
Not personally.
No, I mean, again, like, there was so much going on in this movie, and I felt like the scenario of this sperm donor for each kid, like each mom had one of the kids, it just felt so specific. And then I found out that there was truth to it. I thought that there was probably some truth to it, and turns out it's literally Lisa Cholodenko's story with her partner, and partially the other co-writer I don't remember his name, Stuart something. He like donated sperm and like wondered if his kid would like walk around someday. And I don't know, it just like that to me was more of a standout than just sex scenes. You know, the sex scenes were just kind of supplementary to everything else that was going on.
Wesley, have you ever donated sperm?
No, and I also need to interject now too. I hate the word sperm. Like,
do you want us to call them something else for you?
We can call
No.
it spunk. You want us to call it spunk?
yeah, can we?
Okay.
Swimmers.
Wesley, have you ever donated spunk?
No, not on purpose.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's for you to decide.
Ben, have you ever donated spunk?
No, I haven't. I haven't
Emily?
even donated blood.
I tried donating blood once. They said I couldn't do it because iron deficiencies or shit.
Emily, would you ever donate an egg?
Okay, so I think that to me just feels way more invasive than, you know,
Well,
just
I mean,
jerking
it definitely
off.
is. That's why you get 10 grand and we get $60 a pop.
We got lots of pops though.
Yeah, we do.
I just had no interest of having my eggs taken out of my body. I just really was not a big fan of the idea of surgery.
Yeah, you like keeping your eggs in one basket.
No.
But
No.
I did not know that sperm donors get money.
Ugh,
I
spunk donors.
legit didn't know.
Yeah, we don't donate sperm, we donate spunk.
Fuck off.
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. I just assumed that there was no fucking need to pay for that.
We're not
They were
pieces of
just-
meat.
I don't know.
I had a friend in high school whose plan was to just be a sperm donor for his career. He's like, if I did 6 shots a day, every day, like that's a year's salary.
Who? Can I guess?
You can guess you're not going to get it correct.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's definitely Matt.
No, this would have been desired sperm.
Desired sperm. Spunk. Spunk.
Sorry, spunk. Yes.
So back to what Emily was saying, it gave me a great idea. So are you two ready for this?
Yes.
It is a pitch for a sci-fi movie where if you freeze your eggs at a certain age, then whenever you're older and want to have it fertilized, it still retains the baby that it would have birthed that many years before.
Yeah.
So then you get an adult baby who's already grown. So it's like investing in the age of the other person.
So I had my eggs on hold for 18 years and suddenly
You get
you're
an
an
18-year-old. Yeah.
But
It's like for the for those people who don't want like to go through the terrible twos, you just drop it off
Just
for like
give me
4
my
years.
4-year-old already.
Okay, stop. We gotta talk about the science of this because this
I'm glad this happened after the full bottle of wine is
Yeah.
gone for bed.
the baby is grown outside of a woman, right?
Well,
It's
yeah,
got to.
all,
Oh my god.
all babies want to be born.
And then is raised by who until they're ready?
It's not raised. It's not fertilized until
It absolutely is fertilized. Otherwise, it wouldn't be 18 years old.
No. It's rapid fertilization. Like after it gets fertilized with the chosen donor, then it binds the DNA. In the Large Hadron Collider.
Oh, particle acceleration. I'm
Yeah.
back on track now. Absolutely.
And they smash the male particles
Yeah.
into the female particles.
The egg and the spunk, they get smashed together.
Yeah. But they save
Yeah.
a little of the egg. They scoop out some of the yolk, and then they keep like 10% of the spunk. Because when you put it in the Large Hadron Collider, it merges the male and the female, but it's like the blanks in Westworld. They're blank people because it's just human DNA at that point, and then they save the extra stuff for all the details, and then they kind of just like sprinkle that on top like a
Like a muffin?
Yeah.
This is the level of scientific accuracy that sci-fi usually does air, so I think we're good to go.
Oh, I'm not joking.
Oh no! Oh no! Please be joking. Why don't we move on to the good, the bad, and the weird and talk about who won this movie or what won this movie?
Really, it was just the family dynamic in the beginning with them sitting at the table. I think that's the biggest win of this movie, just showing a lesbian couple with their children and just that representation. But I don't think how it continued to be portrayed was really all that great later. So I think in the beginning, it was a really great thing to see, but I have some problems as the story develops.
Wesley, your winner?
I mean, the kids were all right. But for real, I like Julianne Moore in here. I mean, I always like her. She's a great actress. But I don't know. I like, of everybody in this, I chose her because she was one of my only choices, to be honest. I thought everybody else did pretty mediocre.
Oh.
Nobody did bad, and like there was no bad acting. It just, there wasn't anything going on. There wasn't really that much emotion for them. Like, even though this could have been a lot more emotional of a movie, just as far as reactions and like passion leading up to it, like it was just very dull.
How much of that do you think you can attribute to it being a dramedy? Because I think if this had gone full drama, it would have been a lot more impactful with the
Way
performances.
better.
Where was the comedy?
Well, right, but it still tried to toe that line where it's not going to get super feelings-based, super drama.
It feels like if that was their intention, it was poorly executed because they forgot to put the comedy in and tone down all the stuff so that they could.
I mean, the New Yorker called it uproariously funny.
You know what? I take back
Stop.
everything I have said, and now this is my favorite movie.
Great.
Uproariously.
My winner is sperm donors that don't want to meet their children. This movie will effectively scare away children from seeking out their donor fathers. Because, like, seriously, what are you trying to do? Ruin your parents' marriage? Are you trying to give ammunition to your friend's Rubhub? Like, just leave the guy alone. Continue
This
on
is
with
where
your
the comedy's
existence.
at.
Yeah, don't seek out your spunk donor.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Wesley, I will agree with you. The acting, there wasn't like a ton that stood out to me in like a negative or positive light, but I did like the two younger actors the most out of the acting, especially Mia, what's her face? Don't remember her last name. I'm sorry, you guys.
Wasikowska.
I really liked her portrayal, and I think it's partially because I got some nuance from her of being she's really subdued and sheltered, versus Laser was a little bit more outgoing. I mean,
I still can't believe that kid's name was Laser. Why?
But with Joni, I felt like she had a little bit of some change happen for the positive. You know, she kind of stands up to her moms and has a bit of an outburst, but it's very expected of her in that moment. Like, you can understand what she's going through, versus everyone else. I didn't really have any sympathy for them. So generally, though, I liked the kids, the acting for them better than the adults.
I don't think that having no sympathy for the other characters, though, is a problem of the performances. I think it's a problem of the script.
Yeah.
Because I thought all around there were great performances in this movie. It was almost like, though, the performances were so realistic that you don't realize that they're actually acting. And I think that does take away from our viewing of this as, wow, like, look at what Annette Bening is doing. Because I do think she's really good in this movie. But it can get a little lost in, oh, it's so realistic that, is she really even acting? But the part where she's asking Julianne Moore, like, does this mean you're straight now? That performance in that scene is very, very powerful. And her finding the hair on the brush and in the bed, like, it's a very well done performance. And then trying to sit at that dinner table and not lose your shit on the people that are at the table with you. Like, it's a very subdued and realistic performance. And I think that does take away, because it's not the typical bombastic acting that you see from
Mhm.
Oscar performances.
Right. I totally agree. I also think one of the best parts of this movie is Clay, actually, because he got to be out of the movie after he tried peeing on a dog. They thankfully got rid of that plot line.
Jesus.
Best decision ever.
I completely forgot about the fucking peeing on the dog.
Yeah, I remembered that they fought and he got punched, but I did not remember why. Wow.
Yeah.
God damn it, that was weird.
And this is after they watched their lesbian mom's gay male porn.
Do you want to keep going with weird? Because we can.
Yeah, let's keep going with weird.
Because I don't have anything else good to say.
The speech that Julianne Moore gives at the end, which is like her big emotional speech to her family of like, I'm sorry.
We're going through hell.
Yeah, there's a line in there about reading Russian novels. And I had no idea what the fuck she was talking about. Like, was that a callback that I just didn't connect?
Russia is this country
Okay.
that it's actually kind of close to Alaska.
Oh,
Yeah, surprisingly. But like every time you look at a map, it's on the other side. So
oh.
as Americans, we always think it's really, really far away, but it's actually pretty close.
Fuck you, Wesley.
I do see the connection a little more now. But like that whole speech did just feel very off to me. And maybe it's because in that moment I expected something like grander, because that's what movies have kind of conditioned me to expect. But Wesley, I think you said after that speech, like, was that supposed to be moving?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. Like it was so blah that it just like blah the blah. Like it was a blah speech.
Blah with the blah, the blah, the blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It was the Kid Rock of blah.
The Kid Rocks are all right.
There's something to be said about how the realism piece of what these characters are doing and reacting to, they are acting like real people.
Mm-hmm.
And so having a shitty speech in front of your family, probably pretty accurate, but it doesn't wrap up the story in any way, shape, or form. It just kind of leaves you hanging. It leaves you unfulfilled. The kids are definitely not all right. And
It's all right though, because they are all right.
and it felt incredibly disjointed. So I can see that.
Yeah.
But here's my weird. Why was Nick so against all that organic crap? Like, she's fucking from LA and she was so adamantly against anything organic or composting, just like would fucking flip the shit out about everything.
Did you see her hair?
What does
That's
that
why.
mean?
She obviously has to use chemicals
Because she's a doctor?
No, because of the hair.
because of her hair.
She uses product,
Okay.
Lots of product.
which are not natural products.
Yes, and then
Okay, well, it still bothered the fuck out of me because she was just like, that was like part of her character. She was so against it, and it wasn't because of Paul. It was prior to it because Joni brings it up to Paul, and it just becomes this big thing. And I'm like, why is this such a fucking big deal? I don't understand.
Yeah, I thought that had to do more with the relationship between Nick and Jules. Like, Jules is someone who's been pushing for this organic thing, and it was just one of those things in their relationship that she's kind of pissed off or sour about. I agree that the movie doesn't do a good job of explaining that, but that's what I got from that. Is it's more speaking to their relationship.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was weird.
It was.
it feels like a story for the people who know the story.
Yes, that is so true.
Like, hey, let's look at what it would be like if Hollywood actors portrayed us, our lives. And like,
But
that's
no
it.
one else knows anything. We're gonna
Yeah,
take
like,
out all
this
the
is
context.
gonna be so good. If you understood what was going on in my mind right here, she nails the acting.
I also felt that Clay and Laser's relationship, yes, it was weird, but just how Laser's parents handled it, I was so disappointed. These two gay women talking to their son, and I get that there's like a lot of weight there, but they handled it so shitty. You know, they would have, I feel like if they were better parents, they would have handled the situation in a way that would have made him feel comfortable to come to them instead of them poking and prodding and wishing he was gay. You know, there's literally a statement that Julianne Moore says, you know, I wish you were gay because you'd be more
Sensitive.
Yeah.
Yep. I wrote that down because that was one of my bads from this movie. I did not like that. So there was something about that line that bugged me. I know it was said like in jest and it's supposed to show like, yeah, like we kid around with our children, but the delivery or the placement within the movie was just very off and it made it feel more offensive than it was probably intended to be. But that leads into this screenplay is a bit of a mess in my opinion.
What?
The whole script just feels too simple. And I think that goes back to the realism of it, but it's all just like, if I'm able to look at these characters within 10 minutes and say, one of them is sleeping with Mark Ruffalo, that's a problem of the script that you're not adding enough interesting elements to actually subvert my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did they introduce Mark Ruffalo too heavy on the this guy fucks side?
Well, I mean, you look
No.
at Mark Ruffalo and you know he fucks. That's more of a
Yeah, but,
casting
like-
issue than a writing
No,
issue.
it was laid on thick. for
I mean,
this
their other
movie.
choice was going to be Ewan McGregor, so you know,
Oh, but he
they really
fucks
wanted
too,
a fuck
man.
boy.
I would have
God
gotten
damn.
that. Yeah.
You're right, Ben. The story just felt really out of place. I think a lot of times things happen to the characters and they just kind of went with it and didn't really have any sort of deeper connection that I felt I could see.
Yeah, none of the questions they left unanswered are like satisfying. Like even if I had the answer, I don't think it would have made me happier.
Which questions do you feel are unanswered?
I can't get over the fact that I forgot that the girl kisses that guy and then just leaves. Like, I don't really care about the answer, but what the hell was that? You just
Or like how Clay and Laser never resolve.
you've got something going on for Clay.
Or
Emily.
like, no, I'm just giving you an example. Or like Paul just kind of disappears, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, we're going to cut you out of our life, but they don't do it in such an explicit way. It just feels kind of let go. Or we're not going to address this.
Laser hates Paul initially, but then he's setting up personal meetings with him without any sort of story arc between the two of them in between the two scenes.
Yeah, the lack of resolution of some of the plot points feels very indie dramedy to me. Like it's just something
Mhm.
where it's like, yeah, we don't have to answer them because, you know, we're quirky. And that's kind of how this movie ends to me.
You're so true. I mean, just for all the listeners, last night, the ending, as one of you said, Laser's talking to his mom about how you should stay together. And they go, why? Because you're too old not to stay together. And then they hold hands. And I literally shouted, I did it! Because he looks so fucking smug.
It was the perfect, just right before it went to black.
Yeah.
It was just this like side smile, just like teeth grin from Hutchison.
But like, seriously, that is not a resolution that even makes me feel anyway. It just happens and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I don't care either way.
I agree with all that, and just another part of it that wasn't necessarily the script, but we all talked about it last night too, but the score.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the definition of took me right out of it. It was so jarring when it would come on in between scenes or montages, this like dainty little like back and forth simple rhythm over and over again. If anybody's seen Degrassi, it felt like every time they switched scenes in Degrassi, it's just that like little guitar, quick little sting with a couple notes, but it was just like so out of it.
We're quirky. We don't have to explain ourselves.
A little more bass, though. More deeper tones than Degrassi would. You know, trying to show the weight of things a little deeper that
Yeah,
aren't even there.
If the guy from Sarah Marshall would
Yes.
dark ominous
God damn it.
tones.
I also wish the story focused more on the children.
Oh, I totally agree.
I feel like after the first act, they're mostly like not integral to the plot. After the first act, it focuses way more on Jules and Paul.
Nick. Oh,
No, Nick is the female.
no, I know. I just thought you were talking about Jules and Nick and their relationship.
Well,
But
the
it doesn't
second act
really
is
do that
almost all
either.
Jules and Paul,
That's true.
and not even Nick.
Well, because in the first act we just talked about it too. They cut the main storyline for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
both the potential gay and the love interest. And yeah, I'm just sorry. I had to reiterate because that makes me really mad. Now I'm understanding more why I didn't like the movie.
Yeah, I don't feel like the affair was needed. I don't feel like this movie needed to be anything more than the relationship with the sperm donor dad and the kids.
Spunk.
And obviously, it was going to have some sort of impact on the moms for sure when they kind of find this semi-father figure and get to know him and kind of learn things about him. But I feel like that's what it should have focused on. You know, how is this impacting their family? I mean, sure, the affair was fine and everything, and I just didn't care about it. I wanted more from the kids. I wanted more from the family dynamics. I didn't want to just see Jules go through this kind of midlife crisis thing. I didn't need it.
I think if you're adding in additional elements with the kids and Paul, then you can take out the affair element. If you just take out the affair element and try to leave this movie as it is, it's not a movie. Like, so when you said that, I was like, oh my God, like take that out and we've got nothing here at all. But
Right.
I do think if you added in more of a little more of a dramatic element with the kids meeting Paul, like maybe Paul had his own family that he's also trying to juggle and deal with integrating these new children into, like that could have been something that I would have gotten behind. But simply taking out the affair would not be a fix.
Is that maybe a symptom of it being a true story? That,
I mean, it's not really true.
well, but it's based on something. Like maybe the guy was somebody who just fucks, like in the movie. And so that they didn't want to change it to have another family because that's not true enough.
When I say truth, there's truth to it, I mean like the director and her partner had a sperm donor and they each had a baby.
Yeah,
kind of
that's
thing.
it.
That's it. And the co-writer once donated sperm and he was like, oh, I wondered what my kid would be like. You know, that's it when it comes to that. But I do see what you mean. For me, the worst part about this movie is actually, I hinted at it earlier, it's just how this movie has aged drastically, but also I think even in 2010, I think I would have not liked it. And it's not because of the queer family, it's because there doesn't, even though the actors are acting with realism, the world around them does not feel real. I read a really great article by Kate Cayley from last year, and she talks a lot about how there is so much privilege in queer representation in media, especially when it comes to like this movie. It always seems to be like upper middle class sort of privilege, and it just washes out any depth of any sexuality. You know, it really focuses on like these are two people living their normal life and they have arguments too, kind of thing. There's no depth to it. And it's not that it's bad that they live in this beautiful, gorgeous home and that they have similar problems to real people like us, right? It just perpetuates this stereotype of this white upper middle class privilege. And the story doesn't show any real world interactions with the family interacting with their neighbors, people from work. And I'm not saying that you need it, but it's just empty, you know? The streets feel empty and it feels really isolating and devoid from reality. And there's even a moment where Jules treats her employee like fucking trash, and the way that she talks to him is filled with microaggressions. And I'm sitting here just so fucking uncomfortable because I've been talking to a lot of people about how do we move forward from like the next step in media to push the bounds. And it's not going to be an LGBTQ story that's about religion or about a relationship. It's going to be about politics and how that challenges people's beliefs. It's going to be deeper than the superficial garbage that I saw no offense to the screenwriter. I know that she acknowledges now that like probably would do things a little bit differently now. And I'm sure back 10 years, 12 years ago, that this was really a huge stepping point for the community. But just looking back on it, it just does not feel great.
The import gets stripped away a little bit with time.
Sorry, guys. I just went on a little rampage.
No, it was great. I appreciate you saying all that. Let's put a cork in this thing, though, and we're going to go to Wesley with our final thoughts on The Kids Are All Right.
The movie wasn't bad.
God damn it.
I'm pretty sure that'll be just about all of ours.
Yeah.
I really have nothing to say about it. It was a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that bad. You could say it's all right. So I'm giving it 0 out of 5 left feet.
It's all right. Emily.
I really want to see this movie done well. And it's disappointing for me as someone who is not straight, kind of watch how this just kind of perpetuates some stereotypes. But also, I don't think in 2010 I would have really understood my own self well enough to have that opinion, I guess. So I think the movie's fine. I think that it was a great step for the LGBTQ plus community, but also I think that there's a lot that's way better than this, way more representative and way more interesting.
I think this movie is much better when you don't try to divorce it from the time that it exists in. Like, if you think of it as The Kids Are All Right, a movie from 2010, I think it is an important film. And I do think the performances are really great in it. But when you try to think of it in the greater landscape of movies, and you think of it compared to some of the movies we see now, it loses a lot of the impact that the story probably had at the time. And because of that, I think it does slightly hurt the movie a little bit. But I did enjoy the movie. I liked a lot of the realism and the relationships that were depicted. It was hard to root for people, but that's reality. People aren't always...
People suck.
People suck. There's duality in people, and this movie does present both sides of it, where there's good in them and there's bad in them, and we may not agree with everything that they do, but these are people.
Sometimes there's a little bit of Ruffalo in them.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get the idea?
I just tried to think creatively.
Number 1, Joni is named after Joni Mitchell.
Yeah.
Which I forgot about that scene being so uncomfortable with Paul and Nick just singing. It was so bad.
I hated that scene.
Anyway, realizing that Joni is named after Joni Mitchell, of course, Laser's got to be named after someone, right? Who is Laser named after?
Laser is named after the American Gladiator.
What?
You might need to explain American Gladiators.
American Gladiators was a show in the 90s where contestants were pitted against these hulks of people in physical competitions, like, and they all had really cool names like Blaze and Gemini. And I think there was one named Laser, and Laser just inspired them to name their child after him because of the strength within him.
Oh, fuck. That's awesome.
Okay, so since they named Annette Bening's daughter Joni, obviously that had a lot more to do with Annette Bening. Like, that was definitely more of her choice. And so for Laser, it was definitely more of Julianne Moore's choice. And she absolutely hates Joni now, the name, and how that makes her feel about the musician. So she's going to go a different direction. And she just decides that she's going to come up with an acronym. So he's not named after anybody.
Oh, no.
He's just the last attempted safety from entering the rim.
What is the rim? What do you... Woo. Oh!
What the fuck? All right, number 2. You just found a VHS tape with porn on it, and it was in your co-host possession. What kind of porn would it be to most surprise you?
Most surprised me.
Of Ben?
Yeah. Or make you giggle, I guess. I don't care.
Honestly, the most surprising for Wesley would just be generic straight porn,
I was
which
thinking the
is
same
missionary.
thing.
Like that'd be the most surprising that there's nothing fucked up happening.
Okay, well then what do you expect? What fucked up thing do you expect to find on it?
Look me in the eye.
It's all that. It's just a guy shouting that.
The video is of him too.
Yep.
Yeah. That's weird.
Wesley?
Can't help it. God, what most surprising, you said, right?
Yeah. Or what you expect to be on it.
I know what I expect to be on it.
Oh,
What would it be?
please tell me,
Enlighten us.
No.
because I'll
we can talk
confirm
about
or deny. I'm that drunk to actually confirm if the fucked up shit you say
No,
is what
I don't
I
want
do.
to. I don't want to go
Do
there.
it.
I'm
Do
not
it.
going to air
Do
you
it.
out.
Do it.
No,
Do it.
no,
Wesley,
no.
Put
you
me
can
on
cut
blast.
it.
Come on.
What I would be most surprised to see would be streaming video recordings of me.
Don't be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised, my friend.
Well, the reason I'm surprised may surprise you.
Oh,
It's not because that's creepy. It's because I know how bad Ben is at technology. And I would, as his tech guy, I would be like, "You're cheating on me."
Number 3. So you guys both donated sperm about 18 years
Oh,
ago
shit.
because you really needed $60, right?
Spunk.
what did we spend our $60 on?
I gotta know.
18 years ago, $16.
$60. What did you need the money for?
Is that really the question?
That's really the question.
Mario Party 6
Serious question, though.
for GameCube. That's the answer.
I would have been 17.
Okay, we're just pretending we're gonna round up because I did
Well,
do the
that
math.
brought up a
and I went-
question for me. Do you have to be 18 to donate sperm?
I'm
Spunk?
assuming you have
Yeah,
to be
you do.
18.
Why?
Because it's an adult decision.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Anyway, what did I need the money for? 17.
Maybe go 18.
I'll be 36 soon enough. Just for us again, what are you thinking when you said that?
What'd you need the money for? Why'd you need $60? I don't know.
For some fun stuff.
Like what?
Garden State on DVD.
Yeah. Another copy of Eternal Sunshine.
Yep.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
Ben, do you have a game for us?
I do have a game for us today, and we'll
Can
see
you
how
lead
this goes.
game?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we can. I think we can do this.
Okay.
So the name of my game is
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Fads Come and Go. You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games. I'm going to give you fads or trends throughout history, and you tell me if I think they are stupid or brilliant.
Okay.
And you both can play. Planking.
Stupid.
Really? I mean, I think you think they're cool.
Planking is stupid.
Fuck.
Premature babies in incubators is a circus sideshow.
Definitely.
I've seen you at sideshows before. You are always sniffing out that baby. Cool.
Definitely brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. It was the only way that premature babies had access to incubators at that time.
Was to be put on display?
Was to be put on display. Yep. Pogs.
I don't know what pogs are.
What?
Okay.
Wow. That one kind of hurt.
Yeah, that's
Like, of all the stuff, that one... that one kind of got me. Pogs are brilliant.
The way that you reacted, I'm going to say brilliant.
Yes, they are brilliant. Trying to cram as many people into phone booths as possible.
Oh God, I want to say you think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Wesley on that one.
It is brilliant. The pet rock.
Now, is this a question about the pet rock itself or the idea of the pet rock?
Both. The answer would be the same regardless.
Then brilliant.
I mean, I would say brilliant as like a way to make money. So yeah, you'll probably say brilliant.
Absolutely. It's brilliant. The Snuggie.
Oh, I know you love the Snuggie.
You love being comfortable. It's brilliant.
That's true. It's no Blancho. But
Yeah, it's no
still pretty good.
Slanket.
No. How about Snorting Smarties?
Oh my god.
I don't know if brilliant's the right word, but I don't think you think it's stupid.
Oh my.
I could see you doing this.
I have seen him do this, I'm pretty sure. Definitely seen worse. It's brilliant because it's Smarties.
Nah, it's stupid.
It is stupid.
Fuck
NFTs.
Stupid. You don't understand technology.
Definitely stupid.
100% correct. Frosted Tips.
Oh, God.
I know what I'm saying for this one for sure.
I don't think you ever did. I know your brothers both did. Stupid.
I'm going to go with brilliant because you think it's funny to laugh at.
It is stupid, but it's also something I did.
When? What year?
I want a picture.
9th or 10th grade.
Oh my god.
I was trying to picture you guys' little
Yeah,
circle
the wheel.
things.
The wheel
Yeah.
of pictures, yeah. Last one, 4D movies, but not the moving chair ones, the ones that thought smell was the fourth dimension.
Oh,
brilliant.
Like 3D but 4D. Got it.
Wait, Emily, have you ever been
this
to
a
a
real
4D
thing?
theater?
This was a real thing, yeah.
Most 4D theaters just have seats that move or stuff like that, but
this is specifically smell. I'm gonna say stupid because you couldn't smell shit then.
It's brilliant, and I wish they'd bring them back. Spy Kids 4D, they give you a little scratch and sniff card that you were supposed to sniff at the appropriate time and smell what's happening on screen. And I wish they'd bring that back.
That's so fucking stupid.
No, it's amazing.
No, that's awesome.
Well, thank you guys for playing my game.
It was a dumb game. I loved it.
And thank you for everyone for listening. Please like, rate, subscribe, share us with a friend or two, and follow us on social media at IDYP_podcast on Twitter and Instagram, or email us at idrinkyourpodcast@gmail.com. Next week, we'll be watching the movie that the Wheel of Trash chose for Dylan, which is Skyline.
I have no idea what that's gonna be about. Super exciting.
I'm excited to hear your synopsis then.
Wesley, before we go, in your best Daniel Day-Lewis impression, would you please end the episode by saying, I drink your podcast, I drink it up.
Ooh, that was pretty good. I kind of just want to mimic that. Because I can't do the Daniel Day-Lewis impression. I drink your podcast. I drink it up.
Very subdued Daniel Day-Lewis.
That was my Malkovich doing Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's Daniel Knight-Lewis. Okay, bye.
Was that an M. Night Shyamalan joke?
I don't know.
Ben's drunk. Bye, everyone.